Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. I know you're never gonna really see me in a hoodie. I'm not a hoodie person. I'm also not a pink person. However, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month when I bought this. So as a survivor, the cause is really important to me, and I thought I would wear that today. Thank you for joining me on my channel. My name is Svetlana, and well, as you can see, I do work in retail, so I do sell clothing, beauty, etc. because you guys are asking me. I'm also a mental health professional, and I now have a company called We Got This that offers help to prisoners and their families. That is a recent addition to my life. So in today's video, I thought we were going to talk about slang. You guys love my slang videos, and I have to ask a lot of people that are in the facilities, in the prisons, for slang, because these are words I don't use on a day-to-day basis, but I got another slang video for you. So today we're going to talk about time.
I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
So, first things first, I hope you subscribe. And if you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment, because I like to know what you think. I like to know if you like these kind of videos, then I know if I'm making them or not. And that would mean a lot to me. All right, so don't take my word for it. I brought my computer with me. So the laptop's here. I wrote these down. So these are prison slang terms for time. And again, they vary. Inmates use them differently in different facilities, different states, different cultures, etc. So I try to get as many as I could from those that I know and their friends and so forth. So how do prisoners refer to the time that they're doing in prison? So first one is 13 and a half. That usually refers to how an inmate ended up in prison through the justice system, and they have a chance of parole. So that typically means that they went to trial. They had 12 jurors, one judge, and half a chance. So 13 and a half, 12 jurors, one judge, and half a chance. I'm assuming that means they lost because they're in prison, but that's 13 and a half. And these are alphabetically, by the way. I'm just going alphabetically. Action. That typically refers to a federal system. So in a federal court, action refers to the outcome of legal action. All day, that's a life sentence. As in, I'm going all day. I'm going to be doing all day. That's a life sentence. All day and a night, that's life without parole. Now, we have bid. Somebody says, what's your bid? That's a prison sentence. So under the bid, we have bullet, which is a 1-year sentence, a nickel, 5-year sentence, dime, 10-year sentence. If it's a bit, that's a short-term prison sentence, and a big, B-I-T-C-H, because I don't use those words typically, that's a death sentence. So if somebody ever says, I got a big bitch, that's a death sentence. Now, another common slang I hear all the time is Buck Rogers time. So that actually started somewhere early to mid 20th century from what I can find. And it usually is a non-life sentence with parole, but it's so far in the future that the inmate can't imagine that time. So it's not a life sentence. It's a large sentence with parole, and they can't even see past that. So I don't know what it looks like to you, but that's Buck Rogers time. Burn beef. That was an interesting one for me. That's a false accusation or charge or wrongful conviction. Caught my case. A lot of inmates will say, I caught my case when? And that's usually a date on which that inmate was arrested for the crime that they're referring to. A case, that can be either an inmate's court case or the disciplinary report, a DR, that's written for inmate rule infraction. So when they say, I have a case, or I lost my case or something like that, that may be the case that they had in court, but it could be that during a fight or something like that, they went to the hole and they got a disciplinary report for it. So the case could be either outside of the prison, typically, but sometimes they talk about that within the prison as well. Okay, we have down, and that's the amount of time that an inmate has been incarcerated. And they'll usually say it, I've been down for 20 years. EPRD, that stands for earliest possible release date. That's when an inmate can be released on parole or their sentence is finished. Fall, like where did you fall? And that's usually where the inmate was convicted. I fell in Philadelphia, kind of thing. I don't know why I thought of Philadelphia lately. I've been watching Fresh Prince for a while. Anyway, flat time. An inmate serves their entire sentence with no good time or parole. So if you're doing flat time, there's no parole, no good time. That's your flat amount of time. Now, good time, that's something you can earn through merit. A prisoner receives a reduction in their sentence for following certain prison rules, for achieving certain certificates, programs, etc. Now we have gate money. That is usually money that's given to an inmate upon time of release. Sometimes it is money, sometimes it's just a bus ticket. Those things have been changing in the last amount of years, but it's typically referred to gate money. You're out of the gate, that's your gate money. Get hit. I know that sounds like a whole different term, but in this regard, it means to catch a longer sentence from the parole board. Yes, you can go to parole and you can get parole. And sometimes you're not only denied by parole board, you can actually be given more time. That surprised the heck out of me. But parole board can give you more time in some states. So that usually means you got hit. All right. So next we have getting on the bus. And this is where an inmate will testify about another inmate's illegal prison activities in order to get a reduced sentence. So basically snitching, but they have to get on the bus, they have to go to court. Sometimes they'll just shorten it, says I'm getting on the bus. But again, I'm not including my personal opinions or politics in here. These are just slang terms. Hot one, that's a murder charge. Issue, that's the prisoner's original crime. So they might have come into a prison with, let's say, a DUI charge, and they killed somebody in there. So the issue is their original crime. That would be the DUI. Next, I have a jacket. Now, there's two meanings to that one. So one meaning of a jacket is an inmate's information, their file, their rap sheet. So when they touch down, when they come in, somebody will say, well, what's in your jacket? Like, what's in your sheet? Second would be, is their personal reputation among the prisoners? Like, are they a convict? Are they new to prison? The first one's used more often, but sometimes they'll use both. Jackpotting, and that's when an inmate has trumped up charges against them. Jackrabbit parole, that's if you escape from facility. You're not actually getting parole, you're getting jackrabbit parole. Jolt is a very long prison sentence, such as a life sentence. On the river, that's time spent at Louisiana State Penitentiary. So this is specific to Louisiana State Penitentiary. So if you've spent time there, it's surrounded by all three sides of the Mississippi River. Like all three sides of it, it's got Mississippi River around it. So a lot of people will kind of say it that way. He did 20 years on the river. Paperwork, that's legal paperwork about either inmates' court case or paperwork if they want to contest an incident report in federal prison. So everything that relates to what you have in your legal paperwork, that's paperwork. A PO, that's a parole officer. So if you're done your time and you have parole or supervision, you're going to report to a PO, that's a parole officer. Running wild, that's an inmate who has a longer time in prison because he needs to serve consecutive sentences rather than all of them at the same time. So we have consecutive versus concurrent sentences. So if that inmate needs to serve more time because the sentences are in consecutive, means they're serving them all together rather than concurrent all at once, then that's running wild. Short. I know we're not talking about me and height. So short, that would be an inmate whose sentence is less than 2 years or a low or upcoming release. So either they're in a low facility, they have a release coming up, or they have less than 2 years. So they have a short time. Stainless steel ride, that's death by lethal injection. Time, that's the length of a sentence. So they'll typically say that, how much time do you get? Topped out, that's when somebody's off parole. They also say it off paperwork. Off my paperwork. I'm off my parole. I'm topped out. Means you are officially done. You're a free person. Violation, that's an inmate who did not follow the terms of their probation and got caught. So if you're off on your parole and you got violated, you're coming back to prison on a violation. Violators are the repeat offenders with 2 or more times in prison. And last one is your number. So if you are in the prison system, whether it is federal or state or jail, either one, you have a number. So you have your Department of Corrections or Bureau of Prisons number. So every inmate has their number. Now, killing your number is exiting the system. So if an inmate has finished their full sentence while in prison and they have no more community supervision, no parole, nothing left, then they kill that number. If they pass away, they kill their number as well. So that is parts of having your number. All right, so that is what I have for today for prison slang in terms of doing time. If you have any other suggestions, please feel free to let me know, because I think sometimes knowing that, it helps me out, because I hear my guy talk about it and I don't know what some of them mean. And so sometimes they're interesting. Anyway, I'm going to end the video right here. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a good day. Mwah.